And a good afternoon to you, rugby fans. Welcome to Aviva Stadium, Houston, Texas, the Space City. It is final time here at the National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Shield. It is going to be the Pacific Coast Grizzlies, you see there in white, taking on the Northeast Independent Red, who will be wearing their red, as you see right there. Getting some final words from Ed Turby, the coach. It is going to be a matchup. This was last year's matchup, and the year before that, Pat Clifton joining me for this game. What a game we have on our hands.
Absolutely. Both of these teams had some adversity to come through throughout the weekend. The New England Independents being nipped at the end of pool play, looking great, looking like the class that everybody expected to be coming into it, but nipped at the end of pool play. Pacific Coast tested early on yesterday at the beginning of the pool rounds, but they've come through it. They've fought their way here, and for the fourth year in a row, we've got the New England Independents going up against the Pacific Coast Grizzlies. It's going to be a fantastic matchup. Both of these teams frothing to play here on a big stage.
See our referee there, Matt Lake, going to take hold of this one. He is sure to call a good game. As you see some of the players working their way by there for this Pacific Coast team. Very strong, looking to come out right away in this matchup. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different combinations from both of these sides. Both of them had a little bit of fortune to rest, I think, in the semifinal rounds.
Do you have me now?
Be interesting to see what the final 15 is here now. This is the sixth game of the weekend.
All right, got check. We got Rachel.
Pardon me if you've heard me say that already today. If you hear me say it again, this is the sixth game of the weekend for each of these teams. I think it's going to be a serious factor, not only with attrition, but they've also had the time to play with each other and figure out who should go where and what combinations work. So it'll be interesting to see what the coaching staff has gone with.
Wait, ready?
Yeah, there are certainly some good and bad to that, as we have seen all weekend. Wind playing a factor at the Independents back right now. We will see how that affects things as we go forward. Kickoff there to Pacific Coast. Milan Von Wick, wasting no time. Little chip ahead. He's over to play. Ali Corbett gets a hold of that one. Just comes right to him. Shows whipping the ball. Goes on through. Mar Elgin Dari comes over and cleans that one out. We've got Henrique Gabriel, Portugal U18 player at Brown University. Play prop and flanker. A little chip over into the space there. It rolls straight in. We're going to come back here. It is going to be a line out for Pacific Coast.
White numbers. Three.
Yeah, early mistake there from the Independents. Rare one.
Red. Three in.
Interesting choice, I think, to try and find some sod in the corner. And
Three in. Good. You're good.
these guys love their set piece. The Independents are very good at both of them.
On T7 there, just wanted to play the ball down the other end. That one whips with the wind, not straight. Henry Gabriel almost got a hold of it, but it'll be an option here. They're going to take the scrum right away for Independent Red. They'll be looking to set some dominance in this area. The team's been matching them a bit in this tournament, Pat. They haven't had the dominance they would like at the scrum area in every single game.
All right, guys, great pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that some of these scrums have come back better from last year. Great Lakes is one of those ones that comes to mind. Pacific Coast is a good scrum here. Independence, I think the pack has caught up with them a little bit. It's a great shove, though, as we're talking about that position.
Big one coming on here. Penalty arm has eventually, and there it is. Matt Lake sees it. It's a play to them, and T7 is going to put that one into the middle. There's Junior Gaffa. He hasn't gotten much room to run so far today, so far this weekend. Gaffa takes that one. Brown University football and rugby player. Gordon sees a little space there. Gordon, the French born fly half for Northeastern. The Voath gets it to Henry Gabriel, gets his way in between a couple of players. Good phases here, and T7, the other playmaker for this team, going to come back for the penalty off that Corbett knock-on. Another opportunity here for the Independent Red. See what they call, Pat.
I think they just said that the Pacific Coast Grizzlies popped up in that scrum. The Independents, as I was talking up the rest of the field and talking them down in their dominance, they just absolutely put the Grizzlies on skates. And the Grizzlies popped up a little bit early. There it is. You see him come up, Logan McDaniel, I think that is. It's rare that it's a lock that comes up early, but it was, and that's a penalty. The Independents are going to get
Would've
that
thought about
coveted
another
line out
scrum
that they
there.
wanted.
Try to Jeremy Treese back there with another costume
Red
change.
numbers. I'm going to set you at the edge of this white. What's your numbers? 5.
Love to see that
I'm going
CEO of
back,
the organization running ball boy.
Yeah, certainly all hands on deck. We'll thank a lot of people at the end of this one. The win gets that one. Going to come back to Pacific Coast. They're at their own 5-meter line. They need to do some work here. Playing try to hold them up. Henry Gabriel doing a good job of it so far. See if this player can get his knee to the ground. It's a maul according to the ref, so if nothing happens, this is going to be a red.
It's not coming out
The
immediately.
referee is going to give the scrum here to Independent Red. All credit to Henry Gabriel, economics major at Brown.
1. You can tell this one means a lot. This has become a rivalry. You know, it's kind of unique in college rugby here. Really became a maul. Malcolm Robinson, glad to see he's back on the pitch. Got hurt in the last game in the semifinal, helping hold this thing up, and all the Independents get in there. Bring the ball into a maul. It's your responsibility to take it back out. They don't, so the Independents have a great attacking platform here. Their favorite.
Voath to the back. Estevez had the ball at his feet. Scrum half for Pacific Coast, taking umbrage to something going on over there. Ball's been down, but spilled by Estevez with a good tackle. Pacific Coast scrum. You have to put together a good offensive scrum here are the Grizzlies.
Whoever's over here as a flanker, don't grab
you got, look at Naranjo on the back, the scrum half here being held in by the blindside flanker, and he's trying to chop it free. Also notice we've got the hooker here for the Independents popping up early. I think they're fortunate not to get a penalty against him and just lose it based on the knock-on, but a whole lot to look at, a lot of action there. As you can tell, the drama is here. This means a lot. These teams, usually opponents, all these guys playing against each other, they come together here, and they're used to playing in the championship, and it means a lot.
Naranjo puts that one in. Naranjo, the Mexico Tech metal engineering major, gets that ball out. A little room to run here now. That's Von Wick. He's going to put the ball into the wind. It's going to sail into touch. They'll bring it all the way back. Line out here for the New England Independent Red.
That's another mistake there by the Pacific Coast Grizzlies. You do not want to give the Independent set piece in your own end. Reminder that the Grizzlies are the ones fighting uphill against this win in this half. You can see it whipping on that touch flag pretty violently.
Don't pull. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up.
That one comes to Independent Red. El Hasso has a ball in hand. Back to going to contact. The player comes around. Digging in there from this Pacific Coast team. Corbett thought of it quick, but they're going to bring this one back.
The mark was over here. The mark was over here. He was not on the mark.
Yeah, I think Ollie Corbett was trying to be a little cheeky here. And then you see him backing off, claiming that it never touched his foot, never touched his foot. Did he try to get away with a quick tap? Did he not?
Okay.
Look at him.
All right.
There's the tap.
He
knocked it on.
When he runs on the field,
His foot there.
Time off. Time off.
He toes it right. Let's see if he sets it down.
I don't know.
Toe.
Does his foot touch it?
Then he goes to try to pick it with his
When
hand.
he comes onto the field past that 15, he's on. You have to go for points. Okay. So if your coach is running him on, that's their call. Okay. Time on. Shot called. Thank you.
You suggesting it was a fake quick tap, John?
Your coach is sending you on? He told me to run on. All right, that's fine. So I won't blame you. Yeah. And hopefully they won't either.
It would be a wily veteran move from a guy like Corbett to, yeah.
Independent Red, coached by Ed Turbity from Northeastern, with Dave LaFlamme from Brown, Kyle Sumption from Dartmouth, and Matt Charest from UMass Lowell doing managerial duties for the Independence team this weekend. Reed Santos from Babson has the wind. Does he have the direction? That one slides across, and it's good. 3 points to nil. Independent Red take the lead. It's just about 7 minutes in to this
12,
first half.
12. Thank you.
A great strike there from the Independents.
Throw that one off.
Taking advantage of that penalty.
Thanks, Seven.
Someday we'll find out if Ollie Corbett's foot ever touched that ball, but for now it's 3 points to the Reds.
All right, white time, you're
Get
on.
away with it there. Sam Brown steps up to kick this one. Sam Brown, Claremont College's econ major from Vancouver, British Columbia. Ball up in the air, tapped back by Pacific Coast. They're on the move now. McLaughlin puts that ball to the ever-exciting Whippy. The big runners in there. Connor Kelly heads through. Counter ruck coming in. Big pickup there. Estevez gets it started. Corbett, his Brown teammate, keeps it going. Going to be a kick downfield using that wind wisely. Spotting the space back there is the scrum half, Bobby Voath. It's in the try zone. Who's going to get there first? It's going to be Pacific Coast. Chase Bassan. We have a goal line dropout.
Just make sure they're all behind you first.
It's a lot to look at that in the scrum again. Sorry, in that ruck just before that nice boot there.
Make sure you're completely
Elijah
behind the five.
Naranjo was rushing in, trying to get to the ball, tripped over an independent Red at the breakdown.
You have to be behind the kicker
Usually
still.
that garners a penalty for the
ball.
attack.
Thank you.
Brown off of that left boot into the wind. Gets it. It's Santos. Gordon's looking at a drop goal. Gordon, the French Northeastern player, is going to slot it 6-0. First one of the weekend, I do believe. Pat Clifton puts this independent Red team up.
Might be the first one in National Shield Challenge history. I love it. You got the wind at your back, so you don't have to worry about the distance. Just take your time, measure the sticks, and then put the ball exactly halfway between them. Great job there. I love seeing it. Independence up 6-0 off of a couple of different boots. That's fantastic.
No, I understand that
Champagne
one.
Rugby
I
here in
thought that one was
Houston.
okay, but I see your point.
Sometimes with such an obvious play, the goal line dropout comes out to about the 40-meter line. Get two passes to a good kicker in the center of the field. If he has plenty of space, which he did, he's got the opportunity for that drop kick. Very smart strategy there from the independent Red.
Back off white. Play on. Play on. Back red. Still in. Still in.
What a counter ruck. Great team counter ruck effort there by the Independents. It was Estevez almost causing them, pushing it, trying to get them to jump in, and finally he had earned enough momentum that they saw it was winnable. They got in behind him. That was a great team effort there from the Independent forwards.
Good work there. I was looking for the right words. They're starting to push over there. Good Independence Red. See the challenge here, Pat.
Absolutely, and that's a big man, Tom Williams, is trying to hold him off. That is just a rock in a hard place, and there's a couple bodies in the middle there that helped get it over. Malcolm Robinson, one of those reinforcements that came in for the pushover. Love seeing these Ivy guys play with each other.
Play on.
It's Estevez and Corbett. That's their second turnover in a row. Naranjo has the ball, goes out to Brown, out to the midfield. They're looking to get some of these runners out there. That's Blah. He's not going to get anywhere on this one. He's going to get tackled eventually by Gabe Kamara from Colorado Springs.
17, thank you.
Playing at Dartmouth. Interesting story behind that young man. Great fella. A chance to spend some time with him in the past. Ball out to Brown. Brown, he gets it up to one of the big boys. It gets spilled. Junior Gaffa has it. Junior Gaffa steps around another one, puts a little pass in. Calvo, Matias Calvo, Dartmouth captain, has a hold of this front row player from Guam. Takes that one to the ground. They are away. It is Bobby Voath looking for some runners. That one spilled.
There's a knock on.
A scrum for Pacific Coast after all of that good work. Independent Red looking ready to attack.
Yeah, great work by the Grizzlies to get a stick in.
Guys, this is a longer
I'm
game.
really
So the longer
impressed by
he waits
Gaffa
on the
this
ground, rolling
weekend.
around with each other is not
Touched
gonna
back into
benefit
rugby after playing
back up and
football,
let's
and Calvo, him and it's a Brown and Dartmouth connection. Just quickly over the top of the ball, very efficient. Naranjo, good inside line speed, forcing that turnover.
Ball just drifted in front of Algin Dari there in the wind. Tough for these long passes. Naranjo is going to put this one in. Naranjo. Great player. Moves that one out to Brown. They're in a little tight here. Just going to bash it in. Gaffa looking for the turnover, but not happening. Going to come back for the whistle. Seemed to be a knock on there by Pacific Coast. Independent Red. Opportunity to put this one into one of their challenge areas of the scrum.
If I'm looking up at the from a ruck and I see that it's Gaffa is the guy who's got the responsibility to smash me if I choose to run, and Elijah Naranjo is a running scrum half, I might knock the ball in a little bit too.
Smart and play by Gaffa there as well. Knew when the ball popped out, knew when he could go. And a couple of penalties on that. Players just going a bit early on it.
Still in, out.
Ball's out to Voath. Launches that one out. It goes forward. Comes the Pacific Coast. Their advantage. Bassan steps off a couple. Bassan, if he gets some room, he can make it happen. Naranjo to Van Wyck, his New Mexico Tech partner. Pack Coast. The Grizzlies working here, looking for a way through is Van Wyck. Not finding it. Space just closes down there. Naranjo moves that one out. Seth Valens. He's been great all weekend, but ripped away by Antonio Esteves, Portugal U20 player. Keegan Bliss from Rutland, Vermont, the UVM center, gets one out. Now Gordon moves it out wide. Here comes Gaffa. Gaffa puts in a deft little pass to Kamara. Kamara has some runners in front of him. Kamara stops everybody with a little footwork there. And that's going to come back to Kamara. Scooped up there by the scrum half, Voath. Lucky to hang on to that one. Here comes Henry Gabriel. He's isolated. Going to need some friends to come to the party. They have in the phase of Kamara. Voath puts that one out. Ball hits the ground, but winds up with Corbett, losing a little ground in that windy passes. Are the Independent Red, but still holding on to the ball. Ball out now. Number 4, Charlie Beanie. Gaffa now. I want to settle down just a bit, these guys, and Gaffa is going to do his work here, driving them on, getting time to reset. Ball in hand to Corbett. Corbett goes wide, comes off a Pack Coast hand, maybe, or not. No, just drifts out. I thought it got tipped, but I guess it was the wind that just caught it there. So it's going to be a line out here for Pacific Coast, deep in their own end. 5.5 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, we're going to play the line out.
Yeah, Corbett makes a no-look pass here. Got to make sure he connects with who he wants to make that pass to. And even if it could have just been the wind that took it, but either way, it was an errant pass by quite some margin. Bailing out the Pacific Coast Grizzlies. This is still a tough ask for Whippy. Got to throw a dart to get it through this wind, which we've seen he can do. But even then, they got to get a clean catch. They got to haul it down. They got to have a clean pass back, make sure the wind doesn't carry it over the first receiver's head, get a kick in, and then somehow measure what angle you need to kick it through this gale force to get it into touch and relieve some pressure.
They're coming in late, but they're disrupting the 9 because they're coming in straight and they're coming in up. So
yeah, no worries about that.
Yeah, you're looking at after you pass.
Yeah.
I'll keep an eye.
Counter rock and then they'll get the momentum into me.
Yes, and then they'll keep going. All right. So then I'll have my ARs watching. They heard you say that, all right?
All worries.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
So Rachel, you got that too? All right. And you heard it? Thank you. The official time is 15:20, so we're pretty much dead on.
Good work here from Matt Lake so far in this game, Pat. He's been an outstanding ref all weekend.
His communication is on point. That's what I really appreciate. Clear communication, takes the time to gather his thoughts before he gets them out. Sometimes the referee trying to process the information quickly forces him into a tough decision, but he does a really good job.
If they lose the feet before contact, that's the problem. All right, you have your mark, you have your mark. We have our sub.
Sub is on.
All right, time on.
Ball up, taken down by Corbett, stolen away from Pacific Coast. It's in the hand of Calvo. Calvo has that little arcing run, just finds his way between a couple players. Well done there. Ball comes out there to Antisev, to Santos, to Gaffa. Gordon has a hold of it. He slips off of a tackler there, gets picked up and dumped for his troubles. Ball coming out into the hands of Esteves. Esteves driving towards the line. 5 points before the end of the half. Would do a world of good with this win for this independent team. Player over there for Pacific Coast in the way. Kyle Jackson, not sure if that's going to be a penalty or not. The ball comes back to Reed Santos. Reed Santos runs into Sam Brown. Comes to the ground. Ball up to Beanie. Beanie, a Northeastern player, barrels in there.
22.
Now we have a Pacific player not rolling away. We're going to go quickly here with Voath. Voath finds Calvo. Calvo finds a line, and Matthias Calvo, Dartmouth captain, touches down in the NCR All-Star and Shield final. And Independence with the wind at their back, looking good in this half.
Absolutely. Calvo is just one of those tough players to match up for with anybody to account for. Very low center of gravity, explosive athleticism, always sniffing around the ball. Good sense of occasion. Good run here from Bibini. I think he got hurt on this play. His face got smashed into the ground in a not so graceful way, but Calvo off the ground, up to his feet. Who wants the ball? He does, and he finds some space right next to that goalpost pad. He'll beat Naranjo in space.
Because you're not a player right now. You need someone who's on the field to do that.
A philosophy major at Dartmouth, Matthias Calvo from Guam. Went to Father Duenas Memorial School. Played for the Paratodu Rugby Club. U19 for the Guam national team. You need a little background on him, Pat.
Who doesn't love that background? Guam, another. I guess that's a territory. We can't count that on our international tally.
No, we really can't. But the philosophy major, I think, is pretty interesting.
Great run by Calvo, the Dartmouth captain. Really like that player. Been impressed by him. He's just a fire plug all weekend.
Oh, yeah. We're tuned into that. Thank you, though. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Conversion was good. We're at 13-0. A couple of minutes to go in the first half. Pacific Coast to kick this one off. Sam Brown. Kickoffs have been stellar. Have been hanging them high in the wind there. This one is going to come down to red, not contested as the other ones were. Henry Gabriel is going to take that. Ball's been taken back in. Gordon has to step. Gordon's in a bit of trouble here. He's got Kyle Jackson on him. Red is going to have to come in and clean this one up. One of the few mistakes they've made in this half. A little pick and go off the back there from Henry Gabriel. It's a big hit from Tom Williams.
That's fine. Stay on side. Give me a step. Wait, one step. Thank you. Hold. They're all good.
Ball back to Santos. Wind at his back. He's going to launch this one downfield into the safety of touch. He'll line out for the Grizzlies. And getting out of a little bit of danger there is Independent Red. So just over a minute on the game clock in this first half.
Red, you're here.
There's Tom Williams absolutely pile driving one of the Independent ball carriers into the ground. This is incentivizing them, saying, I think that's enough. We don't need to have any more phases. We'll just punt it.
Okay, here we go.
Whippy to put this one in late in the half. Well taken by Pacific Coast. Naranjo moves it out, but it slips off of Brown. Sorry, it slips off of Aiden Lewis. Naranjo has to bring that one back. Brown stepping into the distributor role here. Nice break there from Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson, 6'3", 225 from Sam Houston State, Austin, Texas born. Estevez trying to come over that one. Good run in there from this Pacific Coast team. They're right at halfway. Time winding down in the half. Would love to get some points on the board before the wind comes at their back. Rondo again. Von Wick. Player gets ball and tackler at the same time. They come back to a knock-on. So it'll be a scrum here for Independent Red. Lake right on the spot for that
Gabriel
one.
was so quick on that launch.
This game.
He could have got the interception, Gabriel, getting off the line. He had his head pivoted to the left. He might have been able to just snatch that, but instead just gets a heavy, powerful tackle, positive grade tackle, taking away 5 meters, and then eventually the ball.
Gentlemen, we have 4.5 left in this half.
Just a first-year player playing flanker right here. He's wearing number 1. First-year player at Brown. 3 more years. Dave LaFlamme will have his services.
Stay up. That's still in.
Ball coming, Voath gets that one away, and T7, that first receiver spot. Santos gets it out to Gaffa. Gaffa puts a pass away for Big Gordon, gets it to Abe Kamara. Abe Kamara just hands off the first one, and eventually get taken to the ground there. Von Wick gets his hands in there, but gets penalized coming off his feet.
4 minutes. Thank you. 4? It's 20-25.
4 minutes left in the half, according to
Number
referee
12,
Lake.
support your weight.
25-minute halves here in the final.
Yep, you're on it.
Gordon taking his time, pushing this one downfield. He's got a pretty accurate boot.
Thanks, Rachel.
Victor Gordon, 6'4", 178. Went to Notre Dame de Sloan in Paris.
5.
Going to the front to Beanie. Nice and simple. Maul here for Independent Red. Ball's in Al Hasso's hands. Al Hasso driving forward. Joe Al Hasso from Reading, England. Went to Wellington College. Ball eventually goes to the ground. Ball's available. Referee says, let's play. Voath looking for a runner. He's got Antisev. Antisev's got runners outside of him. Goes in behind. Let's see what Santos decides to do. Santos finds some space. It gets taken down eventually. Kamara comes in to clean it up. Voath gets it to Antisev. Antisev looking for it. Antisev towards the line. 5 more points for Independent Red, Pacific Coast. A lot of work to do in the second half. That takes us
Number
up
15.
to 18 for Independent Red.
Staten Island native, Xavier High School grad student at Dartmouth. He's in line for MVP of this tournament. I think Ali Corbett is casting a big shadow. Some other guys are having a great day, but Antisev has been outstanding. I mean, one of the most outstanding backs for the Independents the entire weekend, with his boot, with his feet. Just fantastic line there. Wonderful player there he is for Kyle Sumption and the Dartmouth Big Green.
Both teams have that double playmaker there. They have Antisev working with Gordon, and Antisev finds a hole here. And it's Von Wick and Brown on the other team. Very similar opportunity to keep the ball moving wide. Antisev just getting better at this one here.
It's because he can do so much with the ball. He had it in both hands. Triple threat position. He could kick. He could go right. He could go left. He could take it into contact. And John Blah had to hold that just in case he went back to the inside ball and underestimated his speed, gave him just enough of a gap.
Wynn's going to take that one from Santos.
You see he's got 2 runners to the outside, and Antisev, he's got to put John Blah, the inside defender, in 2 minds because he's worried about the switchback coming from the number 10 on Gordon. He's got to respect that, and then Antisev sees that his hips haven't fixed to him, and he's too close to the line for that to happen, so he turns on the gas and goes for it.
Hanging one high again is Brown. It's not Son. It comes back to Pacific Coast. They're at the 40-meter line of Independent Red. Time winding down in this first half. Aranjo moves it to Brown. Brown gets it to Blah. Blah has some defenders coming at him. Couldn't quite take him down by the shoe was Junior Gaffa. Whippy. Tackled there by Voath initially. Using some of the big boys. Connor Kelly driven back there by the hard-working Malcolm Robinson. Keegan Bliss comes down with an interception here. Tremendous play from Bliss. Outside center. A lot of great players around him, but in his own right done a wonderful job this weekend covering a lot of defensive territory. Corbett goes to the ground. They go by Gabriel. Ball sails over. It's picked up by Gaffa. Gaffa steps one. Gaffa still going. Gaffa. They have advantage here. Does the Independent Red. Possibly another 3 points for them if they want to take the kick, but they're going to go to Henry Gabriel. Nice little connection there from Calvo to Henry Gabriel. Now they're coming here through Robinson. Robinson gets across the 22. He's got players with him there. Here comes Estevez. Player coming in and off there from the Pacific Coast, having to dig it up. Voath. Good peace of mind. Here comes Keegan Bliss. He gets it out to Gordon. Gordon steps in. Gordon's got a couple of big boys. He's not going to make it through there. Blah shuts that door. Voath gets the ball up to Robinson, but not going. We have an advantage for an offsides there. Corbett picks it up. Wisely keeps playing it there, knocking on the door yet again. We're going to come back here. And there goes Estevez. Estevez quickly at the line and over. Estevez.
Excuse me. He's got it.
may or may not have scored a try. We're going to listen to the ref talk to the assistant referee here.
All right, so the ball was grounded. Did he maintain control throughout the entire time?
I had the grounding short of the line.
Short of the line, and then the ball rolled away?
Correct.
So we have a knock on, correct? Okay,
Correct.
So we have 9. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, give me a number, please.
1.
1?
Right, 1.
Okay. All right. So, it is short. There is no try, but we have time off. Number 1. Number 1. You were not back 10 within 5 meters.
So we have an injury?
Yes. Oh, we have time off for the injury. Yeah, I'll let you guys settle. We're going to wait here. Yeah, it's your penalty. It was a yellow card. So we'll start with the penalty. Okay, they have an injured player, so once he comes off, we'll get started.
McLaughlin yellow carded there for not being back to the line. They were inside the 5-meter line.
Also,
smart play by Estevez one way or the other. Still in a penalty near the end
so
of the
we
half.
need to get a prop on and have somebody else come off.
Well, we have an injury for 10. I got you.
I understand that. We're going to take care of the injury, but while we're doing that, we can get another prop on and somebody else off as a sub.
We're listening into
Randall,
what they're saying here.
Hey, injury shot, we need a prop!
All right. I have it as 26-22. All right. Yep. So. All right. So we still have the injury that we're working on. We have this. Randall, can you tell me who's coming off for the prop sub? Right. All right. So I need to know who's coming off since 17's coming on because he's replacing a player in the bin.
Against Gaffa.
Oh, number 11. Number 11. Okay. Then we're all set. All right. We've elected a scrum. Is your injury player back on now?
Just rolled
you have a
into
new
him
injury player?
unintentionally.
We're good. All right.
Hurts his knee there.
There was the penalty here.
Fortunately for Brown, played it
You
so
guys have
well
the
this
mark.
weekend.
Scrum called.
Hey, boys, we got it. Hold on, ready! Let's go red.
Crouch. What's that? Bind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go left, watch left, safety, watch left. Come here, go left.
Up.
Bobby, see, we got overload here.
Our referee
I
just
didn't
wants
love the
to make
binds over
sure
here. I'm gonna be
everything's
over
cool here.
I just want to make sure we're safe. Your shoulder didn't look awesome.
Legendary and Calvo, the props here.
All right, here we go.
Joe Alhasso at hooker, big engine room, Beanie and Corbett.
Crouch.
Independent Red looking to end off this half with a flourish.
Set.
Big drive here. Pacific Coast trying to hold. Big drive. Here comes Estevez. He loves this. Estevez over the line. Estevez at the line. Doesn't quite get there. They're going to have to keep playing. And right over they go. That looks like Corbett. Sorry, it was Beanie, pardon me. Second row partner. I saw the red scrum cap fly by. It's a black scrum cap.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Charlie Beanie,
We'll have you focus on you.
the engineering major, take it
I
over.
appreciate that.
Absolutely way to stick
Number 4
with
on the
it.
try.
Huge win for the Independent Reds coming up right on halftime. A dominant scrum here. That's probably the half. Just pushing and driving. No reason to pull this thing out until you cross the line. But Estevez does probably just a little bit prematurely. Saw it getting away from his feet. Goes to the line. That was, didn't tell who it was, but secured that ball in that ruck. I think it was the scrum half, Boath. If it wasn't for him coming in and sawing off some of those defensive arms in half, they would have had a turnover there. And then Beanie with the quick pick was able to find just the right patch of grass to put it down on. And the Independents take a commanding lead going into the shed.
23 here would be a point per minute if they can get this one in. Santos, Babson college student, slots that one. And it is 25, and that is halftime here at the National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Shield Championship. Independent Red in the lead. Pacific Coast looking for a big comeback. They'll have the wind at their back. Stick with us. That's coming up in just a couple of minutes.
our game. We play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening. We've been cutting, shaping, and painting. We've created strength and beauty time and again. Our machines are made for one thing.
Welcome back. Some first half highlights here. John Rugby with Pat Clifton, National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Shield. First look is the Gordon drop goal right there. Pat Clifton, let's take a look at some of these other moves.
Yeah, that's right. This is Calvo taking it off of the quick tap from Voath, diving in. And then our man, the MVP candidate, Antisev, diving into the corner there. It's been all New England independent so far.
Pat, they talk about, sometimes people assign a point value to the win. You know, that's a 10-point win, that's a 15-point win. It's 25 points to 0 right now. Is this a 25-point win for the Pacific Coast?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that, well, a 25-point win for the Pacific Coast would be a 50-point second half. That would be 2 points a minute. That would be quite impressive. But I don't think the independents hold on to this. Look, this win has been a big deal. And that first half was their time to put hay on the barn. And now it's the Pacific Coast time to play a little bit of offense with that wind at their back.
Probably not the way you want to start right there.
We'll find this is a good space.
And Wick's kick obviously just didn't quite go the 10 meters. And it's definitely not the way you want to start, A, because it's a turnover, and B, because it's an independent scrum, and it's been pretty dominant.
Great pictures in the first half.
Their scrum can be a penalty machine if they like it to, so see what happens here. They would have to kick with the wind if they got that penalty.
Coach! Bind! Set! Play it out the back. Offside 9.
Players offsides on Naranjo, so we're going to have a penalty one way or the other to Independent Red. See some good sportsmanship there from the front row. Gonna help their opponents up. Tom Williams, great weekend. 6'4", 300-pounder. Playing a lot of rugby here. Gordon with the wind in his face.
The benefit of going downhill in that first half is that the other team's under a lot of urgency, a sense of urgency here, and Naranjo maybe just a little bit over-aggressive to get involved there and gets called for an offside. And that scrum goes down now. It's not an automatic dead ball anymore. It used to be, and now they'll play it. It's there.
Independent Red, ball in hand. Voath has to climb over a couple people, but gets it. Ball to Antisev. Reed Santos. People coming on to Gordon there. They've identified him as a player to attack. Good tackle from Seth Valance. Seth Valance, 19-year-old Wayne State College player. Scored a couple tries this weekend. Here comes Estevez. Working their way backwards a little bit. Reed Santos looking for some space. He finds it. Finds big Aljandari. He gets the ball away to Beanie. Beanie scored a big try. Beanie ball in hand. They're looking like they want to play all over the place for this team, but Keegan Bliss has to bring that one down. Keegan Bliss. Ball comes back to Aljandari. Voath, quick ball coming here, but penalty against player coming in from the side.
Good turn here for Pacific Coast. They didn't get to play much offense in that first half. Constantly under pressure, constantly trying to under assault from the New England Independents. This is a welcome breather. Milan Van Wyck can finally kick the ball and expect it to go somewhere. He's got the wind at his back this time.
Okay. Sub. Who's coming out? What are the numbers?
Yeah, Calvo just did not come through the gate. You got to come through the gate, which is the width of the body of your teammate, the guy who took the ball into contact and got tackled. And he just came from too much of an angle.
It's 5 in. Yeah, come on in. 21 good. Okay. Let's play.
See the CEO still playing ball by back there. Jeremy Treese. Ball comes down to Independent Red. Steves has it. Voath. The ball there to Corbett. Corbett steps back in. Eventually taking the ground.
Too slow.
Penalty against.
Wrong side, too slow.
This
I don't know where
Pacific
it comes
Coast team,
from in
so
American rugby, but I've seen it. I've had to coach it out of players, but you make a nice tackle, and then you decide that somehow it's like the standing over a player in football, but if you crawl back through the ruck, that it gives you extra toughness points, or it gives you some machismo points, and that time, rightly, the Pacific Coast was pinged for it. Good tackle. You take down Corbett. Now roll away instead of going through and slowing down the play. That's going to get you a penalty every time.
Brandon Bachman, yeah, just needed to roll to one side or the other rather than crawling back through. Having a little snuggle with Ali Corbett on the ground rather than doing the right thing.
So number 11 should be back on as well, correct? Yeah. So 11 is off and you're subbing for 11? Oh. Okay, then we're good? All right, thank you. All right, time on, we're good. Thank you, everyone.
Corbett comes down. Voath gets it out into the hands of Malcolm Robinson. Hard-working Independent Red player for the weekend. He's seen a lot of action. Shooting defense coming up on Gordon. They're trying to shut down that outdoor channel. Ball just rolls towards touch. Coming back around there is Emdala Lose. Emdala Lose gets taken to ground by Kamara. Emdala Lose, an exciting player.
Tackle.
Big run from Whippy. They're inside their own 40-meter line. Quick ball comes away from Harrison Dahl.
Straight in from the side, number 7.
Penalty against Independent Red. Coming in on an angle there, Milan Von Wyck.
13. Go.
Wrestling with Keegan Bliss there.
Red, that's two
Man who
side
looks like he's from Rutland, Vermont.
I'll take your word for it.
That's the hair and the beard. Right near Killington ski area. See some
Good
interception
pickoff
from
by-
Bliss.
There he is. Just a ill-advised pass there from McDaniel, and he took a blow for it, too. Malcolm Robinson got a nice shot off him as he was releasing that pass.
And good work from Von Wyck there to get that ball downfield quick. He knows they need a lot of points here.
And I want all you about. Excellent, thank you. Play on.
Ball to the front. They're looking at Tom Williams. Not going to play with a win. Smart move by the Grizzlies. Here comes Dahl. Gets someone out into the hands of Brandon Bachman. Bachman, a lot of human being to take down there, and he is going to continue going forward. Bachman held up at the moment. He's going to have to get himself to the ground, and does. Referee Lake, however, called it a maul, so we're going to have a scrum here for Independent Red, and playing a lot of defense in the second half with his win. It's going to be important. Moves like that, huge help.
I assume the guttural grunt we heard in the middle of that melee was Bachman's. if he could go through something or around something, I feel like through is his choice 10 out of 10 times.
We gotta speed it up, okay, Nine? Yeah, sorry about that. No problem. Crouch! Fine!
Voath to put this one in. Voath, good weekend. The Boston College psychology major, first year from Cleveland. Voath moves that ball, gets it to Gaffa. Gaffa puts a little pass in there to Santos, doesn't quite go to hand. Blah takes it down. They have a scrum advantage. Coming back in this direction, get the ball to Emdelalose.
First knock by red, second knock by white. Scrum white.
Emdelalose, another Wayne State player, graphic design major.
It's a little too much deference here from Gaffa. Great job by Naranjo. He saw the options lining up. He knew who he would be defending. And Gaffa's got to realize he's not passing to anybody in any better position than he is himself. Just tuck your shoulder and get those legs driving. We have a hospital pass. Good turnover by the Pacific Coast Grizzlies. Now, dare I say, this is their best chance at attack here so far this entire game.
Certainly is. Let's see if they can make use of this. Keeping it himself is Von Wick. He's going to have a go.
Good job.
Gets his knees to the ground, has to be released, not finding the room he would like. Keegan Bliss shutting down the outside there. Been his good work, but adjudged offside.
Everyone's on, play on.
Von Wick to the 22. Von Wick ready to take this game by the scruff of the neck if he has to. We're going to go back to another penalty. Not rolling away against Henry Gabriel. Quickly they go, heading towards the try line. Big run from the inside center there. Kyle Jackson.
Stay out, stay back.
Tom Williams over the ball is going to come down there to Naranjo. Big ball up to Whippy. Whippy puts a little pass in there. Deft move from him. Gets the ball. Like knock on creeped in there according to the referee.
Anything there?
Referee looking at this one, and try awarded to the Pacific Coast.
I'm sorry.
A little bit of messy play there, but a Whippy comes down with it, but we're going to come back. Assistant referee has spotted something.
Sorry. What do you have?
White knocked it forward before he touched it.
So it was knocked on before
it was knocked on.
Knocked on right before the goal line?
Right before the goal line.
All right. There was a knock on right before the placement. Yeah, he admitted it. We're good. Yes, time is still off.
He admitted it.
We're going to have
We've got a confession, folks. We've got a confession on the books.
Well, you guys got fucking
Whippy will mark him up as honest.
Hey,
Great
Rachel.
player and supremely honest.
Nailed it. Yes, let's have the sub then, please.
I feel like every time I'm looking at the screen and I can't find the ball, Jason Whippy's got it near the try line.
Well, yeah, time is off. Yeah, we have time. Take your time, get water, do what you got to do.
Whippy, a senior, 5'10", 275, business major. NCR All-American.
Thank you.
And a national champion.
13.
And the men's team be happy to have Mr. Whippy.
Yep, just in one more step because you're so noticeable with the mullet. Yep. Yeah. I'm going to roll faster next time. Yeah, I don't think you did anything malicious. I think you just got stuck.
Make sure you follow the New England Free Jacks. Their content man's right on top of it for a lot of the great content to come out of this weekend. They sponsor this independent team. So we've got 2 Major League Rugby teams sponsoring some of the teams here, and we're playing at a Major League Rugby stadium. A number of players were picked out of this competition last year in the Major League Rugby Collegiate Draft. A lot of symbiosis and synergy between these two organizations, Major League Rugby and National Collegiate Rugby.
New England Free Jacks sponsoring the Northeast Independents, I've been informed. Big moves coming in. A little gamesmanship coming down here from Chewidian. Got the advantage here. Estevez has ball in hand. They have a scrum advantage. We're going to come back for that. Another strong scrum from the Independent. Bread and butter of their game, still holding true to the end.
Do you think Ollie just ever wakes up scrumming in his sleep? Just legs driving as though he's got a leg press, and he's just I mean, every time I watch this guy, I'm impressed more and more. Every scrum he's a part of, he is dominant and fantastic.
Scrummage around the Brown campus there in beautiful Providence. Nice run coming in from Kyle Jackson. Kyle Jackson has acquitted himself well this weekend, really showing his strength in running there. Tremendous for the Sam Houston State University player. Pacific Coast under a bit of pressure here, but hanging on to the ball. Dahl moves it, gets it to Van Wyck. Van Wyck can just pop that one up into the hands of Douglas Barnes. Douglas Barnes from Boise State, criminal justice major. Ball comes out, Van Wyck looking for some space, gets around to the outside there. They've got a runner. Ball may have been spilled in the tackle there, and it was. Independence, another scrum.
Number 24, White.
Good line speed there from Corbett and from Bliss to take away an option from Van Wyck as he still sprints out and gets a little bit of space. Good carry. I'm really impressed by this young man. But you got to fight the ball all the way to the ground, and he loses it just before he hits the ground. These independents can smell blood in the water. They can smell the result. They're getting hungry and hungrier for it.
Thanks, guys.
After taking on Independent White in the semifinals, their counterparts here, they are now in the finals against Pacific Coast. Healthy 25-0 lead, more than 10 minutes gone in the second half. Here at the home of the Houston SaberCats, ball squirts out the other side. May come out of the tunnel, but assistant referee not spotting it, so it's going to be Pacific Coast ball. Good run. Corbett trying to kick that one through as it came loose.
That ball came out, it was kicked, then it ended up back into the scrum, or into the ruck. It's an accidental offside. It's a scrum to red.
Thank you. That is an insane rule. I would have never thought about that. I learned something.
That's why I got to go to the classes.
It's interesting. A lot of explanation there. Not surely entirely sure what happened. It looked like Corbett never got onside to me and then went and tried to kick the ball through a ruck, which is a penalty. So it looked to me like maybe.
If it wasn't hooked. Yeah, it was hooked first.
Yeah, it might have been outside of his foot there. But either way, Ollie Corbett still got to establish an onside position, and I don't think he ever does. Might just be a case of Jordan rules.
I would love to know which player from Independent Red said, I learned something from you, referee, today. Because he never knew that rule before. I didn't know that rule. So here comes Junior Gaffa, finally been in space. Junior Gaffa taken down eventually. Independent Red able to come in and get that one. Voas still strong. Here comes Estevez. Estevez and Blah introduce themselves to one another. Ball out here to Antisev. Here comes Santos. Santos, ball in hand, pops it up there to Chuidian. Chuidian has been outstanding running all weekend. Ball to Voath. Voath has Abe Kamara. Kamara to go to ground. He hasn't had much space to work in, but good weekend for Kamara. Here comes Corbett. Corbett taken down by Big Tom Williams. Gordon hanging one up in the wind there. It's going to bounce. Who's it going to bounce for? It's going to bounce for that man right there, Malcolm Robinson. What a weekend he's had. Here comes Calvo. Calvo takes on Milan Van Wyck. Estevez gets the ball put in behind him, but it bounces. Reed Santos. Santos steps. Santos tries to get it to Antisev, but not much happening. Corbett has to come down and take it, but it's kicked. Players coming in and taking it. Player over for Pacific Coast, but well taken off that ball and contact. Voath. They want to do something here before a counter ruck comes in, and has done. Estevez trying to spin out of a tackle there. Voath goes up and over, finds the runners he's looking for, gets it to Robinson. Robinson gets it pushed out of his hands. So a knock-on scrum here for Pacific Coast. Time working against the Grizzlies.
White 2, White 3. Yeah. Yep.
We got Reese Santos with a bit of a wild offload intended for Antisev. Corbett tries to clean it up. Look at this Gaffa finally diving on that ball. The outside linebacker from Brown. He knows what to do when the ball's on the ground.
That's a good question. I just want to check. No,
Estevez.
It is. Yep,
a couple Portuguese steps.
I'm used to 40 minutes altogether, and I'm like, what? Yeah. 10 to go.
There's a great cutout pass over the defense there from
that's a great question.
Voath, but trying to do a little bit too much with ball in hand, I think, there from Malcolm Robinson.
I'm sorry.
Popped it up just at the end.
7 knocked it on. He has it. Scrum half has it. I'm sorry. Say it again, Randall. I'm sorry. 9 and 21 red. Sub off. 9 and 21 red.
Gonna make some changes here.
Honesty today has been really good.
Looks like he's had enough. I think everything's cramped up there by the way he's moving.
Yeah, I know, right?
Players are coming in. That is Manny Duque. Played, started to roll a lot last year. So you get a players getting looked at here again. Calvo.
Or is he coming off? Okay, we're gonna need a sub for number 20. Well, 21 was being subbed off anyway. Oh, you're 21. He was going away anyway. All right, awesome. All right.
Let's go, boys.
Okay. All right. Time on, clock is accurate.
A lot of MVP candidates here for the New England Independents. Could be Antisev. He's been lightning. Ali Corbett has been integral in everything they've done. They've been dominant in the scrum, dominant in the lineouts, and it's hard to chalk it up to anybody more than him.
We're good. All right, here we go. Crouch.
Tight, boys, tight.
Bind.
Malcolm Robertson is another one. Fantastic yeoman. A lot of the work he does is not quite easily as seen, but
make sure he gets in.
The hard yards and the breakdown
You're
work.
loose, you get to go first. Let him in. All right. I'll move out of your.
Don't forget, Henry Gabriel has been electric for this team.
Coach. Set.
Big scrum coming in here. That's that independent red scrum we've seen all weekend.
Number 7, playing it with his hands on the ground.
Penalty here against
If you bind off and pick it up, that's fine. You can't do what he did.
Pacific Coast Grizzlies. Still excited about their scrummaging is the independent red.
Technically, it's got to be.
They're starting to wind down here as we are about 15 minutes into this second half.
The feeling they might knock on their next touch intentionally just to get another scrum in the books.
All right, White, we're going to have you use the edge of the line. Yep, right on the edge. Thanks, guys. I'll take back, Rachel.
Line out here inside the 22, but you can see the assistant referee's flag and have to be on the money here with the throw. They're going to go to Corbett with a nice easy one there, but it doesn't go straight. Matt Lake right on the spot for that.
Subs on for red now.
Came in the other way.
All right.
Going to make some changes here
I
again.
want those subs now for red. You have an option. Scrum or line out. Line out, same mark.
Still got quite a few minutes left here to play.
Yep.
Pacific Coast.
You're right on the edge again. You're right here.
Is this an all-star tournament after all? Still got some footage to record. Might as well have some cool stuff happen in it.
All right. Dendup Dorji comes into the game. Jack Swords wearing number 22 comes into the game. Tony Zhao, who wearing number 20, comes into the game.
Reset. Take your time. All right. Now we're on.
Looking to go to the front of the line out. Ball comes down to Valance. Valance, it's ball down in scrum. They move it back. Across their 22 they go. Into their back, but they need a lot of points here. Have yet to score. You would like to see him get into the zone there. Von Wick puts a long one out. It drifts through the wind. Diving tackle there from Kamara. And penalty coming for Independent Red. They are not letting up here. Chewidian.
Isolated.
Want to go quick, but has to tap the ball.
Right here.
Can't help but think the Pacific Coast Grizzlies are hampered by
Shot called.
the loss of their fly half. Sam Brown went out with an injury. Just an inadvertent
Then the red
injury around a breakdown earlier in the game. It's been fantastic for him all weekend. Puts Milan Van Wyck playing at first receiver. That pass was just a little bit errant. Jackson.
Over here, out of his line. Yeah, what's up?
Tackle assist. Would you just watch tackle assist?
I will. Yeah, I thought that your eye was completely isolated, but I will watch for that moving away. Yep.
Alon Von Wick. Chat with Matt Lake there. Santos lines this one up into the wind. And hits another three. 28-0. Independent Red looking strong here at Aviva Stadium.
Gorgeous night for rugby. Nice breeze blowing from left to right.
Brando, the scoreboard clock is accurate, just so you know.
Van Wyck Referee says scoreboard clock is accurate. And Wick sets it up. Coming down is Tony Zhao. Takes that ball in, the Brown University player. Ball comes out to Antisev. Antisev still keen to run. Ball to Corbett. Speaking of still keen. Trying to get that ball loose. Going to come back for not rolling quick enough against the Pacific Coast. Another penalty here for Independent Red. Perfectly happy to slow this down, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy to take the air out of the ball the rest of the way. It's almost an awkward amount of time to be up this many points against your rival in a championship game. Only wondering what good can come from it. Hopefully just some free-flowing, fun rugby. A couple of subs coming in, looking for their chance to leave an impact, positive impact, hopefully, on this game. Pacific Coast not rolling away from the tackle there quickly enough.
Ball up, comes down quickly, gets taken by Duque into the middle of the field. Get the ball to Coleman Jackson. Coleman Jackson in the game, doing some great work there. Coleman Jackson from Brookline, Mass. Played for Mystic River High School. Tom Clark, TC, helping run this event. Big Mystic River coach, former player. Ball comes down for Pacific Coast. They're inside their 22. Von Wick has to step into the scrum half roll. Gets that ball out. Little tip pass they were looking for, but don't go. Tackle made by Chuidian. On the go, still. Little chip through from Von Wick. Von Wick chips it ahead again. Gets the ball back into the hands of Jackson Everts. Everts hands that ball on to Santos. Santos. A little bit of hopscotch, has some players in front of him. Ball out to Dendup Dorji. Dorji gets to Estevez. Estevez
up high.
Takes a high tackle, takes a hit in the head there. You can see him holding it. We'll get the penalty for that.
Coming a little high.
Number 8. Number 8. Number 8, if I hear you again, I'm going to find a way.
Yeah, I don't like that at all from Estevez.
Thank you.
Do you have a head injury, or are you milking it?
We need an action right now.
We have no room for flopping in this sport or embellishing an injury. I think that was a pretty clean tackle. John Block came in with a strong arm, but it was right over the top of the ball.
And
maybe over the shoulder.
Yeah.
But either way, Estevez goes from 1 second cringing, hold his head on the ground, to popping up, pointing, looking at the scoreboard, and talking in John Blah's face. We don't fake injuries, and we don't embellish them around rugby around here.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's not something that
Estevez needs to cut that out of his game sometimes.
Let's go. Option.
Alvin down, but not straight. Option here to Pacific Coast. See what they decide to do.
Okay, line out.
I remember growing up with the 90s NBA, the Bill Lambier NBA, the Kurt Rambis NBA. You come across the middle, you might get an elbow. Now you watch the NBA, it's almost like they practice the flopping. We can't have that happen in Major League Rugby.
You had more than enough time. Thank you.
Or NCR All-Star Shield Rugby.
Thank you. Roll. I know you're caught. You're still...
Pacific Coast on the move, off the penalty here. He's getting a little late for them at the moment.
Good job, 6.
Dahl moves it out to Von Wick. Von Wick chips one ahead. Big man running onto it, but can't quite hold it. Jackson Everts beats Kyle Jackson to the kick there. That one hangs up in the air. Von Wick just lets it roll. Gonna come back. Should be a line out here for Pacific Coast. The Grizzlies. Time winding down.
Here we go again. John Blah coming in with the forceful arm, catching Estevez on the head, it looks like. Laying on the ground. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Ball here to Pacific Coast.
Good job.
Dahl moves it again. Von Wick moves it out this time. Gets it out there to Chase Passon. Dahl again gets to one of the big units, still pounding their way forward. Preston James comes in. Preston James, Sam Houston State kinesiology major from Baytown, Texas, not too far from the stadium. Player not rolling away for Independent Red.
You have a sub if you want it. Do you want it right now? Do you want the sub right now? It's yours. Hey, sub on. We have time off. We have time off.
Wick, last time he touched the ball, he tried a little up and under. He's still trying to make something happen.
We have time off.
One more time, Estevez holding it.
All right, there's going to be 10 seconds left in the game when I turn it on.
And he's up smiling instantly.
Turn it on.
And that's not a cheeky, friendly smile like I got you. That's a stop crying, point at the scoreboard smile.
Says 10 seconds.
Yes, we are at full time. Full time. Right there.
Full time here. This will be the last action of the game.
Up. Scrum half. Yeah, you're here. Scrum half up.
All here, 2 Pacific Coast, down 28-0. Would like to get some points on the board here. Ball nearly ripped away there by Independent Red. Referee has spotted it.
It went forward and caught by somebody else. It would be a scrum to white, but the game is over.
That is the end of our game here at Aviva Stadium in Houston, Texas. 28-0. The Independent Red from the Northeast have overcome the Pacific Coast Grizzlies to take back-to-back championships away from them. Pat Clifton, let's talk about this game for just a second. Your thoughts?
Dominating, suffocating performance from New England Independence Red, coming back from the pool play loss at the end of day 1 to sweep day 3, back-to-back championships. Really impressive performance from this group.
Take a look at some highlights here. Santos moving this one out. Gordon, there's the drop goal. Pat, let's talk through a couple of these things.
Absolutely. This is Voath. Got a penalty here for not rolling away against Pacific Coast. He quick taps. And Matt Calvo, Johnny on the spot, the Dartmouth captain, scoring right by the post. This time it's Antisev. He's one of those guys you got to be talking about for MVP, using the inside dummy line to find a little bit of space. Touchdown in the corner. Antisev was fantastic all weekend. And the double tackle from Vlad and Mualalau. This scrum, that's how you got to finish it, right? The Independence, unstoppable all weekend. Estevez, the second time in the game, he dotted down short of the try line, and Corbett came in and cleaned it up for the score.
All right, that's it for us. Just a few thank yous for National Collegiate Rugby. Steve, the Creator Cohen, Jeremy Treese, the CEO, Wade Smith, Thomas T.C. Clark helping out with this event. Brad Cheese Dufek on the ground doing great work for us, getting a lot of player information. Referees, David Haynes, referee manager for NCR, all our referees and assistant referees. Aviva Stadium, the Houston SaberCats, all of our teams, players, coaches, administrators, all of our fans, thanks for tuning in all weekend for Next Level Rugby. Mike Baker, Nick and Tyler on the ground. Our camera crew, Ryan, the man with the rugby plan, Ginty taking control, Tim Wilkes, Liam Quinn, and for Pat Clifton, I'm John Broker. This has been a wonderful weekend of rugby. Next weekend is Women's All-Star Sevens for NCR. Make sure and join us then, and we'll see you at the next rugby game.